right, James Franklin, there is no excuse for you and Penn State to miss out on the college football playoff this year. It is finally expanded to 12 teams. You've got all the talent in the world, and you've got a pretty favorable schedule to back you up. The Nittany Lions, they come in at number 16 and are way too early top 25, but they can, by a season's end, find themselves in the top 12 and finally break through to the playoff for the first time in the James Franklin era. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad you could join us today to break down Penn State's schedule for this upcoming college football season. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including our website, thegridironexpert.com, where we have so much exclusive content there for you to help you get through this offseason, but also become your number one source for college football in the regular season. Do not miss out. Go down there, become a member of our GE Nation, because the 2024 season will be here before we know it. Penn State, guys, they are perennially a good team under James Franklin. They're always good, but they've never been able to get over the hump, right? Never been able to do it. They won the Big Ten. We're almost coming up on a decade ago, which is insane, since they won the Big Ten. But they've never made the college football playoff. They've made tons of New Year's Six bowl games. They've won plenty of New Year's Six bowl games, but haven't gotten to the big one because they haven't really been able to get over the hump of beating Michigan and Ohio State. Well, this year, Penn State has an opportunity to finally slip in. With the playoff expanded to 12 teams, there really is no longer an excuse for them to miss out. This is a schedule for Penn State, guys, that has them hosting Ohio State, has them hosting Washington, has them avoiding Michigan, has them avoiding Oregon. This is a team that has a new offensive coordinator in Andy Kotelnicki coming in from Kansas. This is a team that has a new defensive coordinator in Tom Allen, the previous head coach at Indiana. They've got an experienced quarterback in Drew Aller, one of the best running back duos in the country in Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. The offense should drastically improve from the 80th ranked passing offense in the country. The defense, once again, should remain very strong. The Nittany Lions, this is it. If you want to make the playoff, this is the time to do it. And you take a look at their schedule. Like we said, it's pretty dang favorable. They open up on the road at West Virginia. That is not going to be an easy game by any means. West Virginia won 9 games last year. They kind of exceeded expectations under Neil Brown, and he saved his job in the meantime. By winning 9 games, he saved his job. They beat West Virginia last year 38-15 in Happy Valley. No one gave the Mountaineers a fighting chance in that game. This year, I would expect the game to be a little bit closer, but once again, I think Penn State's going to be favored. We're not predicting who wins or loses these games right now, but Penn State's going to be favored against West Virginia. The beauty of this, if you're Penn State, is you go on the road to West Virginia, going to be hard. If you win that game, you don't have to go on the road again until October 12th. So August 31st, you're on the road, and then you have over a month of staying home in Happy Valley. They, in theory, will cruise past Bowling Green. Unfortunately, they get one of their bye weeks before Kent State. They certainly won't need it for Kent State. They should cruise past Bowling Green, cruise past Kent State, home against Illinois, who they beat 30-13 last year, and they get to host UCLA. A long road trip for UCLA in their first year in the Big Ten. Remember, UCLA, USC, Washington, and Oregon all coming from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten in 2024. So you look at the schedule for Penn State, it is very, very feasible they start 5-0. Anything less than 5-0 for the Nittany Lions would be a very big disappointment and, in my opinion, a failure. The most losable game on that stretch is the road game at West Virginia. If they navigate that, they should be 5-0. Then they enter the bulk of their schedule that is the most difficult. This stretch from October 12th to November 9th will determine whether or not James Franklin finally gets his team over the hump to the playoff or if they once again fall short. This is it. On the road at USC. Long road trip for Penn State. USC, a major disappointment last year. No more Caleb Williams. But Lincoln Riley is a quarterback whisperer. They looked really good in their bowl game against Louisville. The biggest thing for them is their defense. So it's really a battle of the USC offense versus the Penn State defense. Which one gets? A rematch of the epic Rose Bowl we had many years ago. USC not going to be an easy game by any means, but one that Penn State can win. Then they get a bye week. They have to go to Camp Randall Stadium, take on Wisconsin. A Wisconsin team that was disappointing in year 1 under Luke Fickell should improve in year 2. New schemes finally kind of settling down, things like that. This is a Wisconsin team that, we actually thought would maybe win the Big Ten West last year, fell flat on their face, should be better this year. And once again, a wide open Big Ten West division. Or Big Ten as a whole, I should say. So that's tough. Those 2 road games are tough there. At USC, at Wisconsin, back-to-back, but the bye week there helps break it up. Then you got Ohio State, who Penn State has just struggled mightily against. Loss after loss after loss, and heartbreaking loss after heartbreaking loss, including last year, where they struggled, only losing 20-12, but the offenses could not generate anything against one of the better defenses in the country. We'll give them that. But they get to host the Buckeyes in Happy Valley. That is massive. A home game against them, and then right after that, a home game against the national runner-up in Washington that now has a new coach in Jed Fish and basically loses the entire team that helped Washington get to the national championship game in 2023. That 4-game stretch, guys, will determine what happens for Penn State. Because if they do start 5-0, like many would expect, and they can navigate that 4-game stretch from October 12th to November 9th, either at 4-0 or 3-1, the final 3 games are pretty favorable. At Purdue, Penn State, significantly better than Purdue. At Minnesota, better than Minnesota. Both games on the road, cannot disregard those, cannot overlook those, especially if Penn State doesn't lose a game and is hung over. But many would expect they would take care of business. Maryland at home on Senior Day in Happy Valley. They beat the Terrapins 51-15. Maryland, lots of new pieces this year under Mike Locksley. Many would expect that to be a win. Those 4 games are massive. If you are a Penn State fan, your season really, to me, is a 4-game season. And we've seen Penn State slip up before. They've lost to Illinois before. They've lost to Michigan State before when they shouldn't have. So you cannot overlook any game. You cannot overlook any game and assume it's an automatic win or it should be a breezy game for the Nittany Lions by any means. But when I look at this, the talent is there for the Nittany Lions. They've been so close. They won 10 games last year, made a New Year's Six Bowl game. If they had just beaten Ohio State or Michigan, lost to the Buckeyes by 8, lost to Michigan by 9, they win one of those games, they're probably in the Big Ten championship, or they create a 3-way tie in the Big Ten, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. But instead, they went to the Peach Bowl and got annihilated by Ole Miss. Everything is there for James Franklin. That 4-game stretch at USC, at Wisconsin, and then back-to-back home games against Ohio State and Washington, that will define the Nittany Lions season. And whether or not we see them in the new 12-team playoff, finally fighting for a spot for a national championship under James Franklin, or if they once again fall short. And all I'm going to say is, with this talent, with this schedule, if the Nittany Lions fall short once again under James Franklin, with everything they've got around them, then I truly don't know if they will ever get over the hump. I truly don't know if that's the case. You avoid 2 of the biggest contenders in the Big Ten in Michigan and Oregon. You get 2 of the bigger conference games this year in Ohio State and Washington at your house. If you fail to make the 12-team playoff now that it's expanded, I don't know if anything can be done for you. And we'll leave it at that. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Everything's lining up for Penn State, our 16th ranked team in the country to start the year. Very well could climb up those rankings very quickly. Will this be the year? Leave your thoughts and comments down below. We'll have our Penn State prediction coming out very, very soon, so do not miss out on that. But in the meantime, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below, including our website, thegridironexpert.com. Tons of exclusive content over there to help you get through this offseason and get you ready for this 2024 season that will be here before we know it. But once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.